call this meeting to order. Just quick housekeeping. I'd like to make a motion to approve our minutes from the January 9th meeting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. First order of business, just a quick update on the farmers market and hiring a manager. And actually, since Michael, you're here, do you want to just touch on that for 1 second, where we're at?
Yes, we have it advertised in the shoppers market. I'm going to make sure that we announce it at the select board's meeting and obviously here at this meeting to get it out there if anybody's interested. As we get applicants, I'll be sending them over to you, Matt, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Excuse me, Michael.
Yeah.
Is there a copy of the job description or the offer?
Yeah, we have a job description and I can send that around to everybody.
Yes, because the people, I'm on the board of Berkshire Agricultural Ventures, and they're very involved with farmers markets. They may well know of somebody, and they thought $25 an hour was probably better than anybody else is paying. So if you could send that to me, I'd like to forward it to them.
Yep, I will have that to you tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, Michael, with that, if you have a nice copy of the letterhead, I can also reach out to Bav and / Berkshire Grown.
All right.
And just spread that, because I have like the draft we created, but I don't have like the official letterhead or anything.
All right, I'll put it on letterhead and get it to you tomorrow too.
That would be real official. All right, cool. All right,
That's exciting. Yeah.
keep our fingers crossed.
Good.
All right.
And if I can interrupt, that's Sally that's there, right? Because it's hard to see you guys on that little screen.
Yeah,
So, is that Sally?
yes,
Yes, I did get your email Friday. I was the only one in the office Friday, and I did go on and put it. I logged into the Berkshire Eagle. I put it on for 2/7, and I sent you an email on Friday at about 11 a.m. With the information. So you should be all set.
I was away all weekend, so I haven't had a chance to check in today, so.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I need that login information. I could not get on to save my life.
All right. I will send you over how I logged in, and then if you ever have problems, yeah, as long as you let all three of us know, one of us will make sure to get it in.
Yeah, because I took the stuff that Teresa had sent me and I tried every which way and could not get on. So I'm not really sure.
All right. I'll send you that tomorrow, the login stuff for it.
I tried my old login thinking, well, okay, so maybe that'll work, but it didn't work either.
Yeah. But I did get it in for you, so you should be all set.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Joint meeting. So, I know not a lot of the ComCom's here. I don't know who else is coming.
I think if they're not here, they're not.
Not here. Okay. So we can just get into it then. So we talked about having this meeting after we got a lot of input at our last one from,
Hey, Matt, can I interrupt for 1 second?
yeah.
Just a point of order. If they don't, how can you have a joint meeting if they don't have a quorum?
It's a great question.
Yeah, I was about to ask that.
You're just having a meeting of the agricultural committee and you have Sally here.
We did it as a hybrid because
We did, yeah, because last
because in
time.
case more people did come, then it would be official. But if they don't come, I guess it's just you.
It's still official.
Yeah, it's still official. Well, we're still not a quorum between me and you, but
I'm looking at you, Michael.
Yeah, you just can't make any decisions. That if you're looking for the conservation to actually make a decision, they obviously can't because they don't have a quorum.
Gotcha.
yeah, and I think,
Generally just spectators
yeah,
anyway.
and this is more of a discussion
Yeah.
decision.
We just didn't want to get in trouble in case there was a quorum.
Right.
Got it. All right. Thank you, Eric, for pointing that out. So that being said, we're talking about all the knowledge we got from the last meeting with the guest speakers from it. And a lot of that information Shelby took down as our minutes from last time. But today's meeting is kind of figure out what I'm thinking is what recommendations / actions we want to take based on that knowledge now. And I think I'll sum up what I heard and what I thought were the main points, but looking at the waterways, forest around waterways, forest around Stockbridge Bowl in particular, we were seeking to make recommendations about the trees that are affected by predominantly ash borer and the woolly adelgid, seeking not to make recommendations, obviously, to do removal without the COMCON's explicit recommendation or approval, and / no treatments, chemical treatments around the waterways. That's kind of what I heard. And also that we want to put together kind of like a pamphlet stating that / page reader of sorts.
And I would just say, in terms of recommendations for what to do in terms of replacement trees, what species, if you're losing trees, then what to replace them with, basically.
So she didn't say it in the meeting, but I ran into Jess after the meeting and she spoke for a very long time. The upshot of what she recommended was just to plant, let the owners decide what they want to plant, tree species rather than shrubs if they're replacing trees. But in her opinion, the species wasn't as important as just get something in there. If you lose hemlocks or you lose the ash, just to be sure it gets replaced. I know you had concerns about something filling the role of hemlock. From what we heard, there's really not one tree that's going to do what a hemlock does. But I think, and on the COMCOM, when trees are taken down, we do recommend a condition that they be replaced. So, that happens pretty often. But if someone takes down a dying tree, it doesn't always happen.
I have a question for Sally. When you require somebody to replant trees after they've cut them to build, do you have the authority to tell them what tree they should put in?
We have the authority to make recommendations. They come to us with what they want to plant. It must be a native species that's required.
Okay, you make recommendations and I guess you can turn them down until you get what you want.
Theoretically.
But the only requirement is that they're native.
Must be native.
Must be native.
Yeah. That's wetlands, in the wetlands.
In the wetland, yeah.
And in the town bylaw.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good point too, is say if, kind of thinking about today's meeting, I kind of thought it would be nice if there was a sheet of paper, not heavy cardstock, not like a pamphlet per se, but going into town meeting, having something that's out for people, just like a little sheet of paper with like our information, contact information between us and the COMCOM, and really hone it into like Stockbridge Bowl, people living near wetlands or have property with wetlands, just pointing out woolly adelgid and maybe just ash borer, keep it simple and to the point.
So some of that exists. I mean, there's good flyers that are already out, probably by DCR, on the Adelgid and on the borer. We may not need to reinvent the wheel on that, just to.
Maybe just reach out and see if we can get a bunch.
Yeah. And they used to be on the Barrington Tree Committee website. They may still be. Could just take a look there. And the Concom's in the process of coming up with a
I
brochure.
have a copy of it here.
Oh.
It's actually pretty informative. But,
And do you also have a copy on the computer?
of the brochure?
Yeah.
It's not finalized yet,
It's not finalized.
but Sally has a copy if you want to see it.
We'll figure out how to do.
Still have, this particular version still has the wrong email from me, but this is basically what we're gonna put out.
And Abby and Eric, we'll see if we can get you a copy.
You've seen it, right?
I saw it, yeah.
Thank you.
And I have something I'd like to bring up when it's appropriate.
Yeah.
But we can also, we did this on the tree committee too, on the town website, we put a list of recommended native species. Just what the commission recommends, not, we don't have any authority.
Right.
But if people are looking to plant native, it was nice that they could have a list to refer to.
Maybe that makes sense. Like there's pamphlets already being created. They're already well along. We don't need to redo the wheel, like you said. And maybe there is just a joint, I don't know if this is possible, and Michael said, a joint page that just says, here is a list of trees. And we could
Native.
make a huge list of trees that we recognize as being native and that we have seen great success with, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just as simple as just listing them. So people can go to that website, pick it, bring it to you, the Concom, for approval.
I'm happy to look at the Great Barrington one.
Yeah.
If you want, because we had.
Just copy it.
Or update it. And also, the brochures that Peter Grima sent us, they were really good. We get copies of those. Again, we don't have to redo it. There was a lot of good information.
Well, I think that's, the stuff that he sent us was really, I mean, they're really in depth. Like he sent us a lot of information and they're really in depth. It's almost like the way I had originally seen it in this pamphlet is kind of like what I was thinking is something to get the awareness out there. And if people want more information, we have it now between what Peter gave us. Like we could really print out those and have a few of those on hand to give people.
Did you see those?
John Hart has Berkshire brochures, and he has offered on occasion to bring in one of his racks. I don't know how big it is, I don't know anything about it. That we could put somewhere useful to the public, maybe downstairs at the entrance to the bathrooms where the public can always go. That we could put those kinds of brochures in.
Yeah.
The public information brochures, and people could just pick them up at their leisure.
Yeah,
That'd be really nice.
that would be good. And I thought I had forwarded it to the Concom, but I can do it again. The brochures that Peter sent were just really good information on climate change, how it affects trees. They weren't really recommendations for
Right.
planting, but there was a lot of good information, and there were 3 or 4 of them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if we could get those copy them, get them on display
Right.
in town hall, that would.
And maybe I think that'd be a great idea. And I feel like that fulfills a lot of our mission is if we just get if there's an extra stand there that we can keep supplied with the information. And also then people at the town offices, when they show up and someone's not around who can talk about trees, town clerk, someone can just point to that and be like, and maybe we just create signs. So here's everything about carbon sequestration, forestry, hemlock woolly adelgid, just make a little sign so people can choose the right pamphlet for them.
And could we get them on our website, get them on the
I'll look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About the webs. So
Yeah.
we're nearing, within the next couple of months, we're going to be launching our new website, which is actually Civics Plus, which is the same type of website as Great Barrington and Lennox. So the Forest and Agriculture will have its own landing page with all information that you want. So when people go on, they'll just go Forest and Agriculture, click that, it'll take them right to a page. And all your brochures and everything we can set up for you on that
Great.
page. So, if you take a look at what Great Barrington has, it's going to look very similar to, like I said, Great Barrington and Lennox. We also have a high-end now color copier at Town Hall. So we can make brochures on demand so that we don't have to do like thousands of copies at a time, but we can make sure to keep a minimum amount and get the proper card stock to make copies.
Great.
Fantastic.
That leads me into a kind of a tangent though. Is that something we would have to put into budget for us?
No.
Okay.
Unless we're talking about making thousands of copies where you're going to spend hundreds of dollars. But if not, if we're just printing them as needed, I can't think we're going to go more than, I don't know. What do you think? 25, 50 a year or so? If people,
Yeah.
a lot of people will go to the website. So
I think people will use the website more than pick up a
Yeah.
brochure.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's great.
oh, that'd be great
In fact, on the racks, we could have a little sign that says,
because of the website.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can put the recommended trees on the website
Yeah.
too.
So that would be really nice if we can see if we can get one of those racks. And see if we can get here and start seeing what it looks like. And then what I'll do for us is make sure that, and maybe it's even the next meeting, because we've gotten so much information and so many from just so many different areas, next meeting, people bring what ones they're thinking should go in the rack, in particular, and / the website. Because maybe there's some that are like 50 pages that we're not going to print out 50-page brochure,
No, but
but
there were 2 or 3 that were just.
that were
like-
good.
Like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 or 3 of those, and then the 50-page ones will be on the website
On
for
the website.
someone else to print.
Great.
Sally, you wanted to say something else?
Yeah, I had a conversation today, which I thought was alarming and something that might be appropriate for the Agriculture Commission. Apparently years ago, there was a study done along the Housatonic River about the incidences of cancer in dogs in particular. And there's some indication, although I don't know how recent or how current it is, that the mixture of chemicals between the PCBs in the river as it stands, and other chemicals that are being leached into the waterways, in some cases from the railroads' use of creosote and other chemicals to preserve their wood, are combining to create a highly toxic chemical, much more so than the PCB alone. And they were finding that there were these 80% more incidences of cancer in dogs and cats than they were seeing anywhere else. There's also some indication, and while that doesn't fall under this board, or I don't know who it would go to, probably Peter, that it's also true of humans.
What's the connection? Dogs drinking the water? Or people
Playing in the water.
playing in the water, being in the water?
Being in the water, the floodplain where it floods and the PCBs come out of the river and and combine with these other chemicals if I don't know. This was just a preliminary discussion that I had today, so I haven't had a chance to look into it any further. But it's possible that, some of the chemicals that they use for plant and, removal and along their rights of way.
Yeah.
Can, because if they use chemicals along their rights of way, they're permitted under state law to spray within 10 feet of the river. And we all know that, when a rainstorm comes and the stuff that they've sprayed has washed it away, where does it go? It goes downhill and likely into some sort of water course, since we have so many of them in town. And this is possibly true around the bowl, but we don't have the issue of the PCBs in the bowl. Just something to be aware of. I don't know whether there's been any investigation or incidents of farm animals having a higher rate of cancer. I know that there are a few places along the river where there are cattle that can actually access the river. Just something to put on the radar.
Did you, can you find the name of the study? I'd be interested
In the process of
seeing
trying
it.
to find the name of the study.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
That'd be great. If you, anything you can find, share it
It
with
was
us.
done by a couple of local vets. And there was apparently some other study that was done in a community called Lakewood, which I'm actually not even sure where that is, where the incidence of cancer were so high that the state made them do a groundwater test to determine whether this stuff was leaking into the local air groundwater. And it was catastrophic.
Well, I think to your point is like, we'd love more information and we'll stay tuned to it to make sure that if there's relevance, like the cattle or anything, or if we need to make a recommendation later in the future. But yeah, as soon as we get more information, that would be interesting to keep posted on. Because if it is effective.
There were documented incidences, many cancers in dogs currently that live along the river.
Yeah, awful.
Keep us in mind when you find out.
And also, there's a Housatonic River Association too, right? So I would think they would, if they don't already know, it would be important for them to know.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Good to know.
So to circle back around, terms of the discussion on invasives, anything else we want to talk about that, or do we have a pretty good action plan between the rack and hopefully having that stocked by town meeting time, having the brochures printed out, and then getting ready for the website to make sure we know what information we're putting on the website, / having a list of tree options, native tree options. Anything else I'm forgetting?
I think that's it.
All
I
right.
think that's it.
Anything, I would just ask Abby, any information from UMass that would be, are there any pamphlets or flyers there that would be helpful?
Not that I've seen recently, but I could do a little search. I feel like UMass is always
Yeah,
coming out with information.
yep, they may have some good information.
I would talk to Scott Jackson.
Gotcha.
Yep, good idea.
Yeah, next meeting, we'll do a gathering of resources and make a document so we can have keep track of it all, because I know I've sent a lot of emails with a lot of different information, so it's kind of spread out. If we can get it into one place so we know where to pull from. All right. All right, next up. This is kind of an update / discussion, town forests, visit and stewardship plan.
Okay, so we can do a Saturday morning in March on the watershed. And Mike Buffoni will be available, Jeff Jordan, and also Colin. Colin said he could really only do one Saturday thing, so I want to use that one for the watershed. And then in February, we could do like a Friday afternoon. Colin is available Friday afternoons. Actually, I haven't, it seems like Mike is available pretty flexibly. Although actually Mike would need to do the Stockbridge Forest. Stockbridge Mountain, sorry. So for the Stockbridge Mountain in February, it'd be us and Jeff Jordan and Colin. So we just need to see what Fridays in February are good for us and what Saturdays in March are good for us. And then I'll coordinate with them guys.
Okay. All right, so if everyone has their calendars, February, we're looking at a Friday, so that's obviously, I'm assuming we're not gonna do the 10th.
The 10th and the 17th, I cannot.
Okay,
Right.
so the last one is the 24th.
I could do the 24th.
24th, who else is available on 24th?
I can do that.
Unfortunately, I will not be available the 24th, the last Friday in February.
And this is Stockbridge Mountain.
Stockbridge Mountain.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I'm at work probably 12:30 is the earliest I can get out of work.
Oh, yeah, it would be sometime in the afternoon. Apparently it would be for Colin also. So,
So like afternoon, early
yeah,
afternoon?
yeah, because, 2, 3, and Jeff is thinking a couple hours. The terrain gets pretty steep and he's suggesting that we basically stick to the lower part. That's easier to maneuver.
Okay. So we're gonna shoot for February 24th, afternoon, Stockbridge Mountain.
2 o'clock if possible. If it has to be,
At 2:00.
if that could work.
Well, it's good to have something concrete that I can offer. Eric?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it. I got a bad wheel.
Oh,
Okay,
I can't walk tremendous distance.
got it.
okay. And then March, some Saturday. So any options, might as well have more than one.
Do you know, I know there's conferences on Saturday. Like I would shoot for later in March if possible, like towards the end.
So
You will
either,
see some wildflowers.
that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Either there's the 18th, 25th, are the last 2 Saturdays.
Okay. The 31st, oh yeah, right, 18th and 25th, okay,
Like either one of those is okay.
okay.
And that's
That'll be in the
for.
morning.
That's the water.
Watershed.
And that. And while we have our calendar, so then we'll have those 2 visits. We'll keep our usual Monday meeting. That way we can, we'll have 1 visit under our belt on March 6th. We can review what we saw, what we saw there. And then we'll go into our last one at the end of March.
And,
That would be 10 o'clock, like 10 a.m. I
okay,
think.
that's fine. If you can, as soon as you know, if you could let
Oh, of
us know.
course. Yeah,
'Cause
I'll
think
see if I
about it.
can nail it down in, over, the next couple of days when we try to reach out to everybody.
And then especially for Stockbridge Mountain, I'm thinking of a stewardship plan, possible stewardship plan for managing for old growth is how I'm looking at it.
That would be marvelous. Yeah, I know that was a topic here.
What the watershed, no. It's just
Well, the
be
water-
interesting to see, but I think
Yeah.
they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, they're,
Well, and just, there is a stewardship plan, well, a management plan for the watershed. There's also a management plan from 2015 for Gould Meadows. So, did we ever, I have sort of a beginning of a draft proposal to get a application for management plan, a stewardship plan for Ice Glen. Did we ever?
We should do it.
no,
We were waiting to get a forester.
yeah.
Okay.
But the stewardship plan for Gould Meadows did Jess Toro do that?
No, no, she's not a forester. It's,
No, but who
I
did the
think it's
work?
Mike Morey.
Mike Murray did that?
I think so. Oh, no, Peter Tucker. Yeah, sorry, yeah, Peter Tucker. And he actually did, I'm pretty sure Peter Tucker did the one for Laurel Hill Association also.
Okay, because the Concom
I'm not sure.
manages
Don't ask
Gould
Ron.
Meadows.
Huh. Well, I think Ron Brauker sent me this from 2015, Gould Meadows, and it's Peter Tucker.
It's Peter Tucker, okay. Okay,
So that's
but
current.
yeah, we didn't do one for Ice Glen because I don't think Mike Murray never got back to you, right, Matt?
Say it again?
Did Mike
No.
Murray never get?
Oh, that's where I got the name for the one, that one.
So,
But, I mean,
still could,
we could also try Peter Tucker since
Yeah.
he did the adjacent property for Lower Hill. I asked them if they would give me a copy of it, but I never heard back from them, so I'll ask them again. Because Peter was gonna do one for Laurel Hill, the Laurel Hill property, and one for the property that is next door to Ice Glen, the property that has Laura's Tower on it.
Gotcha. So that being said, we have the visits. And then we'll think about Stockbridge Mountain when we have our meeting on March 6th. We can talk about stewardship plans then. And what we're thinking. Anything else to update? We'll find out. Shelby will send around the dates.
oh, I have
Yeah.
a question.
Yeah.
With you and Michael here. Did the signage ever get up for Ice Glen? Last time I looked, I did not see it.
So it did not get up, but Michael had a good question of where we preferred them.
Yeah, I can get those up pretty quick, but where would you guys like them?
I had thought once you cross over and start actually walking up into the path to the Glen, like when you go up those steps that are all overgrown, the railroad tie steps, and then actually enter the forest somewhere in there. That was my idea, but
Yeah, I think that's fine. I know the day of two, we had talked about because they were a thin metal, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Just having some, put it onto a thicker metal plate. Nothing crazy, just to stiffen it. And I could see either that or the entrance where those other signs are, but it would get lost, you know?
either one.
Yeah.
As long as it gets up.
Yeah. And then I think we had, and they said we can have as many. Do we want one on the other side? The exiting Ice Glen somewhere? I don't think there's any, I don't know if there's signage on the side.
We have 2 larger ones and 2 smaller ones right now, but they said we could get more. If you guys want to identify where you want them, then, or designate someone to mark where you want them, we can put them up.
Okay.
Right, great.
Okay, thank you.
And people go in and out from both ends.
Right. Just have one, entering and leaving, just having on either side so they can see it when they walk into the forest.
Okay. So do you want me to go find a,
You called it. You got it.
I'll find a place and let you know.
Take a picture of it.
Okay.
All right. Moving right along. All right. And for the final thing today, I realized getting reminders from the clerk that our annual report and our budget are due. So I'm seeking suggestions of what we want to put in our annual report.
Okay.
Hopefully things that we are,
Well, did the Ice Glen Old Growth designation happen this year or last year?
technically would be,
This year.
it
I
would,
think
yeah.
it was this year because
Yeah.
we postponed it, so that's one thing.
And as long as it didn't get into last year's annual report, so I don't even remember what was in last year's annual report any longer.
Coordination with the Concom
Communication.
on loss of hemlock trees around the bowl.
In last year's, I know I just found a draft. You reported on the tree survey and the funding that was approved, but it didn't, the work that was actually done was after. So I think it might as well report.
Update.
Yeah.
And I think the Forest Service grant happened, that approval too happened this year. And that really interesting presentation about the forest soils, the work being done on the forest soils in Ice Glen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think, not my place, but I think we can't forget the Housatonic in terms of the intelligent and how that's gonna affect. I think in many ways, the loss of the hemlocks is gonna be more impactful for the streams and waterways than it is for the lake. Although the landscape of the lake will be drastically altered.
So we could put that in there, that it's in coordination with the Concom, brown waterways around the bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, we can add, we'll make sure that there's a note of that.
Are you looking at old minutes? See what we did?
Well, actually, I'm checking what was begun in last year, was mentioned in last year's report. That you said that we were beginning to investigate the farmer's market. So we've made progress on that.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to look at the other minutes now. Let me see, looking at from May. Yes, the Old Growth Forest Network thing. The Ice Glen work.
Feel like we got our eyes on a lot, so. it's-
Arbor Day,
Oh,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
the Arbor Day tree giveaway. Yeah, we've been doing stuff.
We haven't thought about Arbor Day for this year.
We touched on it a little bit and
It's coming. And I think you can also celebrate Arbor Day in the fall, so we might want to do that, given that it's February.
Tree City application,
We put that on hold, although when I talked to Tom Ingersoll, and what he said was there's no tree, he doesn't have tree, I don't know if there's no tree warden or there's no tree warden support in Sheffield. And he still does the Tree City application, just getting basic information from the town. That information, there's enough information available just from the town that we could do it. So I don't think about it. I think there's a lot of benefits and there's a lot that the DCR urban forester could help us with.
Yeah, I just thought I'd ask because we had started to.
We started and then we stopped
Yeah.
because we didn't get
Yeah.
the information.
So we don't need to say anything about that then in the report.
All right. Anything else from anyone else? So let's not do, if you're all okay, I'll take that, put it into something, have someone else just check it over because it's due the February 17th. So
Right.
I'll write it. In terms of the budget, if I remember correctly, last year, we didn't submit anything for our budget.
I don't think we did.
I currently don't anticipate that.
Not that I-
No one, as long as no one else is anticipating anything, I'm not gonna submit.
We work cheap.
We're cost effective.
Yeah, we have a generic office supply line if you guys need office supplies. Sure, right, unless you're going after something bigger than that, we'll take care of the small needs that you have.
Thank you.
So the farmer's market, that would come from the town. That's the town budget. Farmer's market manager.
Yeah, I'll be putting that in, yes. So that'll just continue on after the first year. This year, we're already had taken money out of, I have an account to an undesignated employee fund that I'll hit that for the farmer's market to get us through this year and then put in the 10,000 for the following year.
Gotcha.
Great.
Well, you know, that reminds me, we also had the folks from your farm come and educate us about
Oh, yeah.
farming, housing.
Oh,
That's right. That was another topic that we
Yeah.
looked at.
Yeah, that was very helpful.
Okay, well, this is gonna be a novel. All right.
Good. Notice that we exist.
For next
Yeah.
meeting, let's work
Yeah.
on the mission statement,
Yes.
try to finalize that.
Mission statement, we will also review our site visit because we'll have done one by then. Stewardship plan. Hopefully we'll heard something. Someone will have reached out about wanting to work at the farmer's market. So that's what I'm anticipating
That'd be great.
over the next month.
Great.
Any other unfinished business?
Oh, before I forget,
Yeah.
towards the beginning of January, I went to visit Mr. Floric at the high school greenhouse. His trial of cuttings are doing well. They're alive, but they haven't rooted yet, which doesn't mean they won't. I think they just need more time. So once they do, he'd like to join us in one of our meetings to talk about that more, and then we'll have a better idea of how many months they'll need before the Arbor Day celebration for 2024. So
So the thought is we would give away seedlings that he roots, that he's rooted. So maybe we will have an Arbor Day in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So keep in touch with him. Let us know when he's ready. And then you just tell me when he's ready to go and we'll just get it on the agenda.
okay, awesome.
And you can give him, I'm pretty, obviously you could try to push him for the March 6th, or if we're on schedule, let me just look at what's the April 3rd would be the first Monday. So you can send those to him, see if he's interested about that.
Awesome.
Sweet. Thank you for keeping an eye on that.
Great.
All right. Not hearing anything else, I'll make a motion to bring this meeting to a close. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone.